Good evening, everyone. It looks like a lot of paper. It's really not that much. Let's get into it. First off, I'd like to thank the invited guests who were able to attend our banquet today. Reviewing Officer Major Guillory, Mayor Weeb, and wife the Legion, Mr. Hosey and your wife, Mr. Butler, your wife, Rob, and all the rest of the sponsor committee. I'm glad you guys were able to come out and enjoy this night. It seems like I got a lot of thank you to do today. Maybe the odd presentation and give a bit of a state of address where we're sitting at. As the year went, I think we had a very successful year. Once again, we were able to participate in virtually at least one thing a month, which I think is pretty good beyond our normal Wednesday nights. You know, we had gliding, we had fall exercise, we had range days, sports days, cross-country skiing. We went to Western Canadian Aviation Museum for a night, participated in the Corn Apple Parade, the Altona Decoration Day Parade. Remembrance Day at 5 different locations this year, which I think is great. It's a good way to spread our cadets around. And that couldn't happen without all the commitment of the cadets. We're really glad to see that. And we got more events yet to come. Next week we have another exercise. We have an information sheet following. We have a Altona Decoration Day Parade again, and then Morden Corn Apple Festival. So even though our cadet year is winding down today to the end, we still actually have things yet to go. Let's see here. A few thank yous. I had a few goals I want to achieve this year, and I think most of them got done. We're finished. I wanted to try and get us a flight simulator for the squadron, and through a very generous and contribution and support from one of our friends, I'm going to say his name, Bill Brillinger. Maybe he could stand up a bit. I was going to leave it anonymous, but I want you to understand, he's generously given us a laptop, which is going to go a long way to getting us this flight simulator up and running, hoping for the fall. And with that, we should be able to a whole new season. Rob touched on it as our numbers and how we've done the squadron. I think we had a very strong year. With 46 cadets we have on paper, we had 44 on parade today, which I think is just phenomenal. And what's even kind of better about that is where everyone's from. And I've had this question asked me over the last year a few times, so I want to break down the numbers a little bit. Of all those cadets, only about 48% are from Morden. So I'm going to list a whole bunch of names, and you get an idea of where everyone comes from. Because you as cadets might not know where your friends are from. Because we have cadets from Notre Dame, Altona, Carmen, Winkler, Mattu, Darlingford, Glenora, Horndine, Latelle, Miami, Woolen, Rosenfeld, Thornhill. I may have missed some too. So I think it really says a lot to the area we cover, and you can find basically an air cadet in any community in the Pembina Valley, and they belong to us. So I think you guys should be proud of that and proud of the message you're spreading out there. So keep telling your friends in all these communities, come on out and join us and see us. I'd like to thank the sponsor. You guys have done tons for us this year. I don't think there's a week where we don't see either Rob, Curtis, or Joan out, which is fantastic to have that community, have that touch with a sponsor each and every week. I'd like to thank the Parents Committee, who definitely did a lot of work on the side. So the chairperson, Maureen Terra, I'm not sure where you're sitting, Audrey Comp and Carla Wellcraft. It's one of your names always on an email I get, so that's great. Thank you very much for all the work you do, and I know it's a lot of extra work. And I'd like to thank the squadron staff who they do a lot of work on the side. Some of you might not know who all of them are, so I'm going to get them to stand up because they need to stand up and be embarrassed here like me.
Not me.
We'll save the best one for last. The Administration Officer, Lieutenant Renee Van Dam, who you've seen talking a lot. Supply Officer, so the person who gets everyone kitted each and every week, and all those growing kids, Lieutenant Marcy McFarland. One of our instructors, ground school bus driver, Captain Bruce Ashton. One of our newest additions and a previous cadet, Miss Catherine Graves, who has her paperwork in, so hopefully before this time next year she'll be wearing a blue uniform. And then Mr. Shane Hauser, where you are, he's the last just a little bit helping with the drill. I almost forgot one. Captain Rick Helps.
Around it.
I want to save him for last to give him a minute to prep himself to stand up, because he's only got one polished boot on today. So thank you all the staff. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this year at all, and we wouldn't be able to have all the people to work all these extra events, the field exercises, things like that. And I mentioned I had a few goals this year. Most were achieved. One goal we did have was to have our own squadron crest. So everyone probably saw when you sat down, you had a little 4x6 picture on your in front of you. That's our new squadron crest. We've never had one as a 179 Morden. It's always just been the Air Cadet crest we've used. So I'll just describe it a bit. This crest was approved officially by the Air Cadet League of Canada in May 2013. So we only received it a week and a half ago. And it's made up of 3 elements, which all have something that relate back to us. In the center of that crest, you'll see the Morden clock tower, or it's a clock tower, which is actually part of the City of Morden logo. With their kind permission use, it kind of represents our link to Morden. And you see there's 2 clock faces there. And that's to represent how Morden looks looking back on their past, but also the future growth. And that's how we want to treat that clock tower with the squadron. We're always recognizing our past, but we're always moving forward as well. The 2 planes you'll see there is a Spitfire and an Arrow, and that represents our 2 flights. So out there today, we had Spitfire and Arrow flight. Spitfire being the cadets who've been around for a couple of years, Arrow being the new cadets, kind of representing our new. And then finally our motto listed at the bottom. My Latin's really, really bad. Fortitudo de Persitium, which actually means strength through knowledge. And that's something we like to teach all the cadets now. It's only through our continuing learning each and every week that we're going to make better leaders, better team workers, and a better overall squadron. So I'm really proud to have Rob come up here, because we should probably do a presentation. So this crest isn't really for us, it's actually for the squadron, for the cadets. So I'd like to get the parade commander to come up and sort of accept this crest on behalf of the cadets of 179.
Oh, map.
And that's everything I had. Thank you for coming again, and there's a lot more yet to come. More presentations and more in the program yet tonight. Thanks.
So now we're going to move on to the awards presentation. I'm going to present the first one, and it's to the top new recruit. Can I get Major Dean Guillory to come up, please?
Good evening. I didn't want to say too much on parade there because I'm not much of a speech maker, but more of a storyteller. So if you can listen to me for a couple minutes, I can tell you a little story here. Many, many years ago, I joined Air Cadets, just like lots of you out here. But I was very fortunate to join Air Cadets outside Canada, and the only squadron that was formed outside Canada, it was in our Canadian Forces base in Germany at the time. It was 800 Black Forest Squadron. I walked in the door on the first night of the first parade of the first squadron outside Canada, And okay, I'll give you a little bit of time appreciation for that. It was only 8 months after man landed on the moon. Now you can ask your parents and your grandparents a little bit more what time frame that was, but as I walked in the door April the 1st, 1970. So I've been involved with the Air Cadet program ever since. Now from that time when I walked in the door, I had absolutely no idea that it would set the complete tone for my entire life up until today. I never dreamed that I would have a full-time job in the cadet program, and my focus of the cadet program was the flying side, the gliding program. I was very fortunate that went to Germany. I got my first glider ride in an Air Cadet glider in Germany. So I started that there. Came back to Canada, and I'm from Alberta, Central Alberta, in 24 Squadron Red Years, where basically I did most of my rest of my squadron's activities. I went from a basic Air Cadet to the Warrant Officer of the Squadron, and during that time frame, went to Penhold. Who hasn't been to Penhold? Who's been to Penhold as a summer camp? Good. It's been there forever. Yeah. I lived in Penhold my dad was in the Air Force, so I actually lived in Penhold and also went to summer camp as a cadet at Penhold. So it's kind of interesting, two sides of that, watching it grow and whatnot. In 1974, I was on the first course. There's 100 of us at the Rivers Air Cadet Gliding School, one of the big first schools across Canada. When the gliding program really got going in the early 70s, 70, 71, 72, 73 is when it really got going, and they had the big school in 74. The neat part, what I'm telling you, that is, in 1974, there was 100 of us on course. Even till today, I have some very good friends who I met on that course that are from the Winnipeg area, Saskatchewan, Alberta, that I still meet and have good friendships with. And that's the neat part about this cadet program, that your summer camps, your scholarships, and your squadron, you have friendships that you have met here that you will continue for the rest of your life. I got my power license in 75 and then became an instructor in 76 and been to summer camp almost every summer since then. Fortunate enough, I've been to 33 summer camps, 3 as a cadet and 30 as an officer. So my whole summers up until now I've been spending the time standing out in the sun watching airplanes fly around in circles. Maybe someday I'll get a job. The cadet program is fantastic. I've been very fortunate also because becoming full-time in 1989 in this program and involved in the cadet program, how it connects. In 1980, they sent me to Elmira, New York. Now, does anybody know what gliders that we fly in the cadet program? There's Schweitzer gliders, and they were made in Elmira, New York. And the 3 brothers that built these things, called the Schweitzer brothers, William, Bill, and Paul. I met them in 1980. They're the guys that made these gliders. We went down there, we did test flights with the test pilots to find out how all these gliders worked. It was pretty neat. You fast forward until 1995, and they had the 1,000th flight of the Air Cadet Gliding Program. I was very fortunate to fly that flight in Penhold, and the 1,000th first flight was Paul Schweitzer in the back seat with me, or in the front seat actually with him. And his wife was the 1,000th second flight. So fortunate enough to do that's how it keeps connecting. You meet people, you keep running into people, and it all has connections. I mean, many Air Canada WestJet pilots who got their start that I taught perhaps in the 70s, 60s, 80s, and now are pilots with Air Canada. Say, oh yeah, I remember you. You did my flight test. You know, oh yeah, sure did. That was 2,000 students ago, sort of thing. So it's really nice to see people that we keep running into. Years before 9/11, where we could actually go up in the cockpit and fly the flights, there's quite a few flights where I get on an airplane as in my job going to different places, to Montreal or out to Calgary or whatnot. And the pilot says, oh, I recognize you. Why don't you come on up and sit in the jump seat? So you sit in the jump seat and you fly up there with them. Well, the students that used to be your students are now flying the airplane that you're sitting in the seat with. So it's kind of neat, the connections. Snowbird pilots. There's one of the snowbirds that's on there right now, Reagan Wickett. He's just, they're up in Winnipeg right now. They're doing the flyover for the Air Force run tomorrow. He was a cadet. I taught him how to fly. Now he's flying snowbirds. Okay? Chris Hope with snowbirds. Everybody knows Chris Hatfield? Okay? He just came down space. Absolutely a positive promoter of the cadet program. He got his glider's license in 1976 in Central Region. And anytime he talks, he really says what this program has done for him. So have fun with your friends here. Okay? Enjoy the time. And not only that, if you go to summer camp especially, well, you'll meet other cadets from another squadron, and even from the rest of the country, that you'll run into them years later. Oh, I know. Did we have fun? Enjoy the summer camp. Enjoy this program. Work your way up. Go for the scholarships. Go to the summer camps. Grab what you can. And then turn it back into helping out the squadron as you come back as an officer and whatnot. So, very fortunate to be part of this program. A lot of fun to come down and do these things, to talk to the cadets and the officers. And I hope that you really, really enjoy what you're doing here. And when you go up these exercises, all these big pictures and whatnot, silly hats on and survival exercises and whatnot, who has to wear a silly hat when they go up survival exercises? Eh? It's always someone with a weird hat on. Enjoy your time and have a lot of fun, okay? Thank you very much for having me down. Bye now.
Okay, so now we'll get to the awards. I'm going to present the first one, and it's going to be to the top new recruit. That cadet is LAC Sofia Yanez Meza. Parents, feel free to come up if your cadets or children get awards. The next award will be presented by Lieutenant McFarland. It is for the most improved cadet in the squadron, and that is Corporal Angus Steele. Wait 1 second. The next presenter is Mr. Weeb. He will be presenting the award for top uniform, and it is for Flight Corporal Samuel Brillinger. The next presenter is Mr. Elston. He will be presenting the award for top drill to Sergeant Tyler Brown. next presenter will be Miss Forbes. She will be the presenter for the Esprit de Corps Award, and that will go to Sergeant Julie DePau. Major Guillory will be our next presenter. He will be presenting the award for most proficient, and the recipient will be Flight Sergeant Graham Calder. Presentations will be by Captain Fluke, first being the CO's Appreciation Award, and that will go to Warrant Officer 2nd Class Matthew Cohn.
This year, I went and talked to the local flying club, and they actually donated some time for flying. What they donated is a half hour of flying time one-on-one with an instructor. So this is going to go to 2 cadets this year. We're going to make a draw, and you'll have the opportunity to be in the pilot seat flying that aircraft. So we're going to just get one of the officials up here, and we're going to draw names and see who wins a flight with an instructor.
Pick me. Oops.
Corporal Janessa Swatsky. And they do have booster seats.
Booster seats. Oh.
Okay, this one, I'm probably going to get myself in trouble with the pronunciation.
Helps. H-E-L-P-S.
Corporal Matthew Diffuse.
September.
I'll get Captain Fluke
Roll
back
of
up
5
here.
inches.
This this year we have 3 cadets graduating from our squadron, so we will be presenting them with their graduation certificates. Could Flight Sergeant Graham Calder come up? Our next cadet graduating from the program is Flight Sergeant Dana Foxton. And last but not least, Warrant Officer Matthew Combs will also be graduating from the program.
On behalf of the 179 Squadron, I'd like to present a award to Major Guillory for coming down here and helping us with our parade. Also, while I'm up here, I'd like to thank the parent committee, the sponsor committee, all the parents that just drive their cadets here every week. I'd like to especially thank the officers that came and train us, and I'd like to thank the people that made the food for us.
So now we will do the raffle draws, so I'll have Maureen, Tara, and Carla Walt. Oh, I guess they want 15 minutes to sell more tickets. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you better run.
More tickets.